Hello and welcome to Tdts podcast. Today's episode 2, talking conspiracy theories.
Yeah, so I'm talking about ghosts. My question is, do you think ghosts are real? If so, comment on any experiences or just say whether you believe or not. In my opinion, I believe ghosts are real due to sightings myself, due to family and friends sighting, also stories I've seen online, such as children saying like maybe they're playing with somebody on stage or in a park even though nobody's about, and they'll go to their parents multiple occasions saying that they're walking or they're playing, there's somebody under the bed or in the bed with them. Also dogs are alert and can easily sense something when something's wrong. They know instantly. They will get defensive and they just become really protective of you. So in my way, I believe ghosts are real. We describe ghosts as either positive energy or demons and poltergeists, negative energy. Ghosts won't do any harm, but poltergeists and demons will. They're the ones where maybe stuff's being thrown at you, or maybe things are dropping, or you're hearing scary noises, or things are going odd. Then maybe you don't feel happy, you feel a negative experience. But yeah. One of my theories is, and I've been doing a bit of research on this, it's some people, and me included, theory is when you see a ghost in a building or in one area all the time, I believe that it's like a traumatic event that's taken place, and now they belong in that building. They can either be evil and want you to leave, they want to protect that place because something's happened in their life and they've not completed that yet, or they're good and they're friendly and they want to be welcoming to you and let you stay and maybe protect you while you're in that space. Another is ghosts could be people who are not ready to actually leave Earth yet. They've maybe died, but they're still about and they've still got stuff to complete, like maybe protecting their family members, protecting friends, just stuff like that. I feel like there's a portal in between death and the actual afterlife which makes you a ghost.
Okay.
And like there's loads of different ways of experiencing ghosts. An example is like a Ouija board. Some people claim it's fake, but some people claim it's real. I'm not sure on this. Even though I've had a potential experience on an Ouija board, I'm still not sure on it.
So, sorry to interrupt. How do Ouija board work? Like what's in that could make them work?
It's basically a board and it's got yes, no, the alphabet on, and I think numbers as well.
Yeah.
And you can either use like a see-through glass or something, and basically it's like a portal for like spirits, ghosts, demons, and it's like a way of asking them questions, asking them if they're there to help or protect, and basically you just you start by, I'm not sure, I can't remember.
So like how do they move the piece around? Because with them communicating, how are they moving that piece around?
Through their energy,
Okay.
maybe they're attaching to you. You don't actually feel that you're doing it yourself,
Right.
but it's moving to that place to answer those questions.
Okay.
I have seen some cool stuff of it happening online, but it's still not sure on it. When people go on the ghost hunts and they've got the thermal cameras, they've got the electromagnetic readers, and like sometimes you'll hear footsteps, you'll hear weird noises even though nobody's about. It's unsure because you could have your friends in the background and not anything, so you're not fully sure on that. But the electromagnetic reader, that's one for like electrical sensations, and like if you got it can be attracted to like your phone or like electric wires nearby or something.
Okay,
but if it's like an abandoned building, potentially none of that's working, and it could be a real.
So what, are they meant to pick up the energy, like that you said earlier about the positive and negative?
Yeah,
Pick up the
positive
energy?
and negative energies.
Right.
neutrons and all
And
that.
if it's like
Yeah.
there's colours on it from like amber to like high red and green.
Yeah.
If it's red and it stays on that means it's there's a lot of energy in that one
Right,
area
okay.
or in that building. There's many ways of like seeing ghosts. Well, I won't say many, but there's a few. You got thermal cameras. They can see like figures. You've got CCTV. There's been sightings on CCTV of stuff happening, but again, that could be fake. It could be set up. You've got pictures. There's one famous picture where it was a group of army soldiers all lined up, a few rows.
Plans picture, put it in.
And right at the back, there was a figure, should you say, of somebody who died at war, and that was just like a creepy experience.
Okay.
There was a hotel. This is going back to CCTV. There was screams. There was loads of noise, and complaints were made to the hotel staff. Security went up to go and check the hotel room, and nobody was in there. It was empty. Nobody was on the list.
Right.
And the security staff go in, and the room's an absolute tiff.
What?
He has screamed himself. He comes out, and you see on CCTV that like an orb, a figure as well, walks out the room.
Wow.
And the police arrive, and still nobody's about.
Going to this orb thing, do you believe that it's the orb that's controlling the energy to like show like the figure of the person?
I believe that's part of that. I'm not entirely sure on the whole thing, but I believe the orb and the energy is a creation of the figure.
Okay.
Many people believe in like afterlife. This is another theory of why people may believe in ghosts. They believe in like afterlife. So maybe you'll come back as a ghost, you'll come back as an animal, you'll come back as something, or it could be even a baby ready for a new life. You might not know that, but like that's when it comes back to like little kids. They'll tell you stories of what's happened, and maybe they'll go back to that building, and stuff's actually happened. Somebody's died, or there'll still be a haunted place where that person's been.
Before you move on, have you heard of the story of? I think it was this 5-year-old boy speaking about how it was like about a past life that he's had and that, and he apparently said his body was buried in a certain place,
Yeah.
and and when people actually dug up that area, there was like a actual body found there.
Body. No, I've not heard of that one. That one's pretty cool. I've heard of a story where I seen it recently. There was a little girl and a mum. They went to a walk and it was by a river and there was a graveyard. And it was the little girl. She had met a boy, I believe.
Yeah.
Or a girl. No, I think it was a boy that met a girl figure that was not there to be seen. And she had drowned in like the 1800s in the river.
Yeah.
And her parents were at the other side of the river, ghostly figures as well. And the little girl was attracted to the boy and she'd come home with him. The mum, the little boy was saying, oh, I was playing with this girl and stuff. She wants to stay. So she comes back to the house and late at night the mum hears the kid playing and like, who are you talking to? Who are you playing with? And that was it. The mum freaked out and she took the kid back and said to him, tell the girl that you have to stay there, that's her home. Her mum and dad will be looking for her. So the boy does that, and yet again the girl still comes and says she wants to play. She later found out a girl died there and her brother, and she wanted the little boy as her brother.
Oh shit!
Wow.
It was insane.
So you were saying as well, Colin, you've had like your own personal experiences with this. So what have you experienced yourself in?
I know that my granddad died. He died when I was only young, but in my old house that I was living back in like not so long ago, I'd constantly see an old guy that looked like my granddad figure every now and then in the house, and it was weird. No, I wasn't scared of it because I felt kind of safe. There was one point when I first ever did see it, it set me off crazy, but other than that, it's alright. But then there's also another one where there's a little girl. She follows me everywhere. I don't know how I escaped, but there's a little girl, and you see her everywhere. I'd stay up late at night and I'd see figures of a girl walking by, and I'd always mistake it with my sister, but it wasn't my sister. She'd either be asleep or she'd be out, so I couldn't really blame it on my sister. What else?
I remember a time with you during the day as well, because obviously there's this stigma of ghosts being only at night time. Where I was outside, stood talking to a friend, and you'd come outside with a knife. Saying there was some old man at the top of the stairs. And I was like, you're just chatting shit. And he was like completely adamant that there was some old guy at the top of the stairs and he was going to go stab him.
Yeah, that was my first time seeing you on my granddad. It's crazy. Like here as well at this house, right in this area, an old man died previously, the previous owner. And there's I can smell like dead. I've smelled dead bodies. I've been to scenes, and there's this weird smell that comes every so often, like death. And there's a baby in this house, so she's got a swinging crib. And that maybe it was a joke, maybe not, but everybody would say it's turned off, but it would be swinging and stuff. It's just crazy stuff. Yeah. Family members have seen ghosts, they've experienced them.
Our mum had a one, I think she probably told you this, about how she'd been in one night and she'd gone upstairs and she'd gone into our uncle's room, my brother's room at the time. Probably got to wind him up, but let's be real, it's kids. and apparently she was trying to talk to him, trying to wind him up, and this book got lobbed at her. So that she went and lobbed this book back at him, and it made it sound like it hit a wall, not a person. Also, she probably just missed. So then she went, as every child would do, to go telling him downstairs, saying, "Oh, Gareth's throwing a book at me." When she goes downstairs, Gareth's in the actual living room in front of the fire with our nana.
Nah, that was a weird one.
And Gareth, just as like extra, it was the only boy at the time in the house, so that she couldn't have mistaken that boyly figure for anybody else.
Yeah, that one was a weird one.
I mean, your house as well, Ryan, your old house back in Hull, the shower just randomly, it could be electrical faults obviously, but used to turn on.
I'd be serious about it was electrical faults.
That plug, you had to press it down for it to turn on, didn't you?
Yeah, but I still doubt that was electrical faults.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You would hear it.
You'd hear the plug come, you'd actually hear it come down.
There was no light, and a light had to come on as well.
Yeah, a light had to come on, you had to pull something down for it to show us turn on properly.
There was footsteps across the landing and everything, wasn't there?
And me being the complete opposite, like the opposite of the bathroom, and like, which means the hallway is legit straight down the bathroom of mine, I would hear it constantly.
You could hear it, and it's some scary stuff.
Like, I've personally never seen a ghost, but even in this house now, as you were saying, the old guy that died here, the previous owner, he legit died in this very living room somewhere in here, we don't know, because we don't know where the old couch was placed. We're presuming somewhere similar to where this one is. Like, I haven't seen anything, but I've heard in light and stuff like that sometimes. Shampoo bottles getting like tossed around in the bathroom.
That could also be the windows for you.
Yeah, but that's like during the day and all night. Like, and the night, all windows are closed, all doors are closed.
There could still be a breeze.
Even still down here, like, I've still heard. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but cups have actually been smashed in the night. Down here in the kitchen.
No.
Like, cups have just been left on the side and been like smashed.
I want to throw a spanner at both of you two, because I mean, I'm seeing that you two are probably a bit more believable of this than I am. Like, I've never had an experience of ghosts myself, never felt the presence of a ghost or anything like that. And like you said earlier, there it can be things like electrical faults, and there's explanations away for everything, even thermal activity, that can all be explained away. So like, as someone like me who's a big skeptic and barely believes in ghosts, like how would you, what proof can you sort of give me to say that like there is ghosts?
Sure, there is actual proof. That was my next point of coming on to.
Brilliant.
So like maybe when people go on ghost hunts, or maybe your house is supposedly haunted, what happens when maybe it's suddenly cold and the scientists have said that it could be a ghost, or like you're hearing voices and nobody's about, screams, or again you're alone and you're hearing footsteps, or things that maybe being moved about, like cupboard doors shutting, glasses falling, window frames falling. That's another one. When my head boy photo, it got smashed. Nobody was near it. Or like orbs appearing in photographs or figures, like such as I said, the army picture, and there's that figure in the background. How can you not like believe in a way of that, or like maybe sure nobody's behind you, your shoulder's being touched. How can you not believe that? That's a question I've got to ask people when there's actual evidence of such as that. How can you not believe it?
I feel like this is something where like your mind's playing tricks. If you go in to an abandoned building thinking like, oh god, it's got to be haunted because it's an abandoned building, the mind's gonna play more tricks on you and try and play things on you there. So like when in psychology, have you ever done the ink splodge test where you say what you see in this ink splodge basically? Or like you get pictures where it's like it looks like one thing, but if they actually say like it's an old woman here instead of like a beautiful dress, you see the old woman now instead of the dress. I feel like it's that sort of effect where if you tell yourself one thing, you're going to make yourself see it. Like even cloud formations, like when we look at the clouds and say, oh, that looks like a dog, it doesn't. It's just our mind trying to put all this information that we're receiving together.
I get where you're coming from.
There is there are a few channels that me and Callum both watch. I'd say maybe the main one is Omar. Or,
Oh my gosh, TV.
Yeah, Omar Saji, yeah. And I prefer Omar because some of his stuff to me actually seems a bit more genuine than Mo's Saji's ones. Like, I couldn't understand why people would think that stuff like that was believable, because there has actually been a few videos of Mo's that I've personally seen that, and
where you feel it.
I can feel like there's another presence in the video.
Negative energy.
Yeah, negative energy, and like it's another presence that's in the video, not just him.
Right.
But I'm still gonna come in and say that could be, like as I said earlier, it could be a friend in the background or anything like that.
It's easily faked. You know, we know how good camera tricks are nowadays. When we see it in movies, we see it all the time.
We're not gonna go out there and diss people because it could be genuine.
Yeah,
of course.
You're videoing it and you're actually actively going out to these places. Like, you go into like, I also say, why are people gonna spend hours and hours on editing stuff, because they're going to all these places, all this money is gonna cost them and stuff. For them to go edit and stuff.
Because it's the spectacle of it. Like, people want to believe that ghosts really, you know.
Like, personally, I believe in ghosts.
Okay.
But that's just a thing for me. But I don't believe that I'm as believable in, like, believing in ghosts as Callum.
Okay. Right, so then
that's
everyone give what they believe. Like, let's just say for this 1 out of 10.
Let me finish. As you were saying about people's mindset, I just got another like kind of a little theory. I believe people who struggle with like mental health, such as like schizophrenia and stuff, and anxiety. There's many more out there that I don't even know of. I believe they're more suspect to experience paranormal if it's out there, because their minds are more questioning and more hyper vigilant all the time.
Okay.
I believe that's one part of seeing paranormal activity, because they're miles more alert.
So is that going on what I was saying, in a way, it's your mind playing tricks on you instead of ghosts being real?
In a way, I kind of agree with you. It could be down to mental health. It could be down to your mind, what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like going off what Callum's saying about the schizophrenia and that, there've been reports where people with schizophrenia have like seen figures and stuff like that, and people what no one else can really see. That's going off what Callum's saying. The hyper alert stuff could actually be the person with schizophrenia seeing an actual ghost.
I'd be the cause of it. But
yeah.
Like
but then could it not also be then, because we all know people with schizophrenia, you know, they overplay, that things get, you know, they see things that aren't real, like they take reality out of the picture.
Yeah, they aren't real to us. In their minds and stuff, it's real to them what they're saying, but
of course,
to us, we don't see it, we just see them suffering.
And so is then that not also a cause where it's maybe that it's their mind, you know, which they can't help, but it's their mind telling them it's there.
Yeah. So, in a way, I think I still agree that ghosts are out there, but I still need a bit more evidence to say fully yes, I agree.
Okay, so say for yours, then we'll give it a score out of 10. What would you say?
I'd probably say about a 7 or 8.
Okay.
I agree with Callum, a 7 or 8. Until I get more evidence, I'm not going to get 100% 10 out of 10. It's real, but 7 or 8.
I mean, I like the idea of ghosts and this theory of afterlife, and you know, it does sound like a dream, but for me it's just, I've not experienced it, you know, so I can't say I believe it, because I can't, you know, because I've not experienced it myself. So I'm going to have to give it probably a 3. I'm not going to lie, but I'll give it a 3.
Yeah, well, I've done Jack the Ripper. My theory is kind of a bit different to what Callum's done. Callum's done like a bunch of different theories. We all know like the 5 main suspects, but maybe 11's, well not 5 main suspects. There's 8 main suspects and maybe 5 victims, but some people believe that there were actually 11 victims instead.
Wow. And who's this about? Is this Jack the Ripper, yeah?
Yeah, Jack the Ripper. This was in like 1888, so over 100 years ago now.
Right.
All in the Whitechapel district, there were 5 to 11 people that were maybe Jack the Ripper, 5 confirmed. In fact, the police commissioner resigned of frustration trying to figure out who Jack the Ripper was.
Yeah.
And the first death was on Buck Row. It was Mary Ann Nichols. Her throat was only slashed. So, and when obviously the police saw this, they were not thinking this was going to be a mass murder, a continuation of like serial killings. So they really just kind of put it down as like some guys have gone out and killed a woman.
Okay.
And that's that. This was on September 8th of 1888.
Okay.
Annie Chapman on Hamebury Street was found dead with her throat cut and her womb surgically removed.
Surgically removed.
Surgically removed.
Fuck.
Keep that in your mind.
Okay. Wow.
So that's a different murder.
people think that it may have been a doctor.
Well, yeah, the fact it was surgical. So was it precise cuts and things then?
Well,
precise for its time.
The police doctor at the time was saying that the cuts were like so precise that it could have even been a nurse.
Okay, yeah. But someone
or someone who like has done like medical stuff in the past.
Okay,
yeah. I've done shit on their pets and
stuff. And like her body was found on September 30th, 1888. Body of Berners Street was Elizabeth Stride and Millis, and these were 2 murders in the same night.
Oh, okay.
About 40 minutes apart from each other. And Milo Square was Catherine Eddowes, whose throat was slit and left kidney was taken.
Okay. So what the first one? You said on the first one, and the next
one? Well, I couldn't find any information of how like her body was.
But she just.
But I think it was. Well, from what I found, but I don't know if it's true.
Okay.
It was only her throat that was slit, and it was slit quickly, as if.
Yeah.
The murderer almost got walked up on. Almost got caught and almost got walked up on. And the only piece of clue that Jack actually solid piece of clue that was actually Jack himself that had left was a piece of Catherine Eddowes' like apron.
Yeah.
That was maybe a few blocks in between both the murders.
Okay. So they found an apron between 2 murders?
No, like a tiny piece of it.
Oh, that was a piece of it?
Yeah, and not far from it was some chalk saying the Jews, Juwes, are not Jews, are the men that will not be blamed for nothing. Not blamed, blame. Obviously, like it's back then, so, yeah. And this implies that the murderer could have actually lived in East London, which was where all these murders were taking place. Yeah. And had to go into an area that was swarming with police to drop that piece of evidence.
Okay. What was there anything significant about the women? Like what were the women you were targeting? Were they?
They were all prostitutes.
Oh, okay.
So
it could have been a hate crime.
It could have been a hate crime, like where it's like no woman should be out there selling the body on the street.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think this was this is the last victim.
Okay.
Was Mary Kelly, found in 13 Miller's Court by her landlord.
Well, so this one was indoors then?
But this one was indoors.
Right.
This is why some people think this will come back to one of the victims, one of the suspects later. This was known as the most gruesome death out of all of them.
Wow.
Which her body was disemboweled and skinned down.
So it could she could be like a sex worker then.
Yeah. So
back
she
to
see, the thing is, she stopped sex working at one point because of her roommate was a fish porter, so she didn't have to work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when her roommate lost their job, she went back out.
So where was the roommate when this murder happened?
I'll get to that later.
Okay.
And some people believe that Jack the Ripper was between 25 to 35. Now I'm going to go through the list of suspects. I'm going to list all 8 of them.
Right.
And then I'm going to go through like why people think it's.
So do you want us to put out at the end of each suspect how believable we think they are, or do you want us to do it all at the end?
You can. Well, after I've gone through, you can do it either way you want. You can question it through it, if like how believable it is. There's 2 on here that are way more believable than a few of the others.
Okay.
But just keep an open mind.
Yeah.
The first suspect is Montague Johnson Druitt.
Okay.
His uncle was a doctor.
Right.
They say his mother went insane, and they say that he went insane just not like maybe a few weeks after his mother, and then he died. He was found dead in the Thames River 4 weeks after the last murder, which would imply
suicide for feeling guilty.
It could have been, or he could have been killed.
Yeah, somebody's found out.
Yeah, and this would imply like why this murders had stopped. There's not really much about this guy. The fact that
what was his profession? Do you know that?
No, but it's really just because his uncle was a doctor. People think it could have been him because
he could have been taught.
Yeah. This next guy.
So we'll just say how believable thing it is. I mean, he's insane. His uncle's a doctor, but he wasn't.
Yeah. Again, though, the police doctor said it could have been a nurse that did it, so someone with like medical history.
So do we know medical history then? Like, is he?
He may have had medical history. No one really knows.
Okay, so I'll give it a 6.
A 6. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with like a 4 because back then as well, there's no actual evidence. They didn't have the stuff that we have nowadays.
Oh God, no! Like if even if that tiny piece of cloth was found nowadays, and like all these murders were happening nowadays, and they would have found him straight away because of that tiny piece of cloth. And the second suspect is Michael Ostrog, a Russian doctor who was in a mental asylum for killing 3 women.
Okay.
Wow.
Is there any more information on that one?
Not really. The police and stuff like that wanted to keep this one.
What was anything significant about the women you killed before?
3 women.
I couldn't find any information on the 3 women.
Okay.
They may have been prostitutes.
Okay, so
he's a doctor. He's killed 3 women before.
Yeah.
There's nothing to stop him killing more. I will go with an 8 or a 9.
Yeah.
I'll say 7 on that one.
Yeah. Okay. This next guy is Aaron Kosminski, a Polish man who spent time in mental asylums since he died in 1919 after all the deaths of the prostitutes had actually taken place, and it was said that he had actually hated women and especially prostitutes.
Okay. What? So did he have medical history?
Some people think he may have had some like mental issues, but obviously you can't really test that back then.
Okay.
Had he been reported for actually assaulting or doing anything to any sex workers?
Not that I know of. I think he may have like hit one or something at one point.
Right, okay, so
it's not as.
I want to say 4 for that one.
Yeah. This one's not related. This next one isn't a person. It's an entire gender.
Group.
An entire gender.
Right, okay.
Jill the Ripper. Some believe that it may have been a woman, and that's why they were never caught.
A feminazi.
No, some people believe that it was a woman, and that's why they were never caught because the police were looking for a man.
A man.
Right. And it's and because back then midwives wouldn't really be questioned about blood on the clothes and that because the babies and that. Mm-hmm. So people think that the reason a woman could have walked past police, obviously in a high area full of police, could have just walked straight through with blood on the clothes without getting questioned.
Was there any report of the police seeing any midwives or any?
Not really that noticed because back then obviously the police women didn't really get as much recognition as they do nowadays.
I'm gonna go with 4 again on that one.
That one's not quite believable, but yeah. This next one is known as the Royal Conspiracy by Prince Albert Victor Christian Edwards.
Should we not just put it on Prince Albert?
Yeah, but I put on the full name so people know.
No, but I mean just normally, like why does he need all the names?
I don't know. It's his full name. He contracted syphilis, which people believe he drove him into insanity.
Okay.
And he had a child with a local woman.
Was she a prostitute?
Believe so.
Okay. And you probably get syphilis from a prostitute, let's be real.
Yeah. Had a child with a local woman. And the Queen at the time, I believe, was another Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Had reportedly had taken care of everyone who knew about the child.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, royalty.
In a way, I believe that's quite a bit of belief.
I don't think it'd get in the news though, because the royals would probably control the news.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why people believe it had happened. But the child thing might have spreaded so quickly because it's like.
But the thing with Jack the Ripper as well, though, is he did the taunting messages. Did you get them the notes?
Yeah.
Yes. That's actually on here down at the bottom. Jack notes.
So like
there's a reason why I haven't mentioned them yet.
Okay.
The Queen and that. So the Prince did not name or tell anybody who this woman was.
No, they wouldn't name her or anything.
Potentially, the Queen has tried getting girls seen to until she finds out like who it is. Maybe she's actually killed the woman who's. I'll go with like a 5 on that.
I can't see it on being just only over 3.
That's actually the most popular theory.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. I mean, I can't see it.
That's the most popular theory overall, but it's not the most popular theory between of the Jackologists. And this next
Did you just call it Jackologists?
Yeah, that's what that's legit what they call themselves. This next suspect is Walter Sickert, a professional painter and artist who was obsessed with Jack the Ripper and had paintings inspired by Jack's killings, which going back.
I mean, it takes a fine.
Going back, it had maybe no images were released to the public, but one was believed to have had a painting of Mary Kelly's face after the murder.
Wow, that is weird.
Yeah,
and you do need a careful hand to do that, don't you? So.
Going back to surgical.
Similar stuff because you need really precise cuts. Because even in one of the Jack notes, Jack the Ripper said himself, "So they're saying I'm a doctor now." Ha.
That is wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give that one a 7. Yeah, I'll go with a 7.
That's known as one of the more believable ones.
Yeah, I'll do like that. The Kelly one, the Kelly face and the painting.
Yeah. Well, this last one.
Okay.
There's a reason why I didn't mention Mary Kelly's roommate's name. Joseph Barnett lived with Mary Kelly, worked as a fish porter.
Okay.
Was reportedly in love with Mary Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Actually referred to Mary Kelly as his wife in the news.
Oh, that is weird.
Yeah, even though they were just roommates. And just 10 days before Mary Kelly's death, they had an argument.
Okay.
His friends reportedly called him Jack.
Oh.
And being a fish porter, you have to cut up fish, so you also have the knowledge of that.
Did you notice? Did Jack the Ripper call himself Jack, or did the police give him the name Jack the Ripper?
He called himself Jack the Ripper.
Okay. So I can understand him killing Kelly the Ripper because Kelly's death as well was a bit.
Yeah.
It was a bit more messy than everyone's. Everyone's looked really surgical, sliced to the throat, removing body parts. So that
and actually took off the skin as well. This one.
Yeah, and that's weird. What you do in fish and stuff.
I believe he killed Kelly, but he's not Jack the Ripper.
Ooh, that's actually an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm going out.
So I'm going to say, in terms of killing Kelly, I'm going to say it's a 9.
Yeah.
I highly believe that. But I think in terms of him being Jack the Ripper and killing the rest,
Yeah, well,
It's a
what
low
for?
possibility. But then that girl, she could be friends with all the other sex workers.
well, one of the things that people rarely believe that this one, like the Jackologist, believe like he was actually Jack the Ripper, was because like they believe that he was killing other prostitutes to scare Mary Kelly off the streets.
Oh.
Yeah.
To make sure she was safe and shit.
Yeah,
because he wants his wife at home with him.
Yeah, his
Because
wife.
he was the breadwinner provider. I can see
Yeah, so
that.
she was cooking and
Can see
cleaning and all
that.
that
Yeah.
while he was working and providing for her.
Yeah.
I can see
And
that.
this is actually what the DC universe actually believe in as well.
I'm a
'Cause
rate that
back-
rate,
back-
out of 10.
Back in, I don't know when it was, but there was actually a cartoon on TV,
Right.
a Batman one, set in London back
Okay.
then.
Mm.
And it was Bruce Wayne trying to find out who
Killed.
Jack the Ripper was.
Yeah.
And they believed it was actually Joseph Bannon.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
I mean, I think out of all of them, Kelly is probably the most believable, especially for the Bennett. I mean, especially for the Kelly murder, is most believable.
Yeah.
So I think that is the most believable overall.
Yeah.
Aye.
Also, this next actual suspect is James Maybrick, an upper class cotton merchant.
Okay.
Who, and all, just listen to this one, all the murders were committed on a weekend, and if you're an upper class cotton merchant, you can travel on weekends.
Okay.
He lived in Liverpool,
Right.
and under his house was found a book that says he was Jack the Ripper in the cotton merchant's handwriting, and in this book are the same exact pages that were actually used in the Jack notes.
Ooh.
And there were only 24 copies of these pages, like 24 like pages made of these same
So
stuff.
were all these women killed on a weekend?
All of these women were killed on a weekend.
Ooh.
Sure.
And what was it? A cotton merchant?
It was a cotton merchant, upper class, which means he could pay to get travel on that.
So where were the murders committed against?
London.
In East London.
So realistically, he'd go.
Yeah, I know it's a long distance travel, but he could maybe like travel
listen.
Fridays and then commit the murders on
Why
weekends.
why would he go to London when there's probably girls?
Because it wouldn't be a suspect because he's not living in London.
Yeah.
But you've got other cities. That
Yeah, but maybe it's like,
Wales.
as an upper class cotton merchant back then, you'd actually have to help deliver your own stuff.
Ah, right, okay.
And
So maybe he is.
he would do, and obviously
London.
he would deliver weekend stuff
That is
and
strange.
stuff like that. And going back to the Jack notes, with the 24 like pages only made,
Yeah.
that and the writing looked basically the exact same.
That is strange.
Is there actual evidence to prove about the paper, like
Yes.
physical DNA? And stuff
Well,
like
there's
that?
not like DNA stuff, but
You know,
putting the papers to comparison, you can tell are like very very similar. So close, in fact, that people believe they were actually the same, like exact, like cut from the same tree, cut
Okay.
like made into the like paper at the same time and stuff.
That is weird.
yeah.
So I'm going to give that one.
Before we finish, before you do that, they only found out about this book in 1989.
Ooh.
So
Yeah,
over 100 years later.
Yeah.
This was only because of some guy who actually lived in the house at that time was handed the book
Wow.
because it was part of the
Yeah.
property.
Wow.
That's insane.
I think for that one I'll give it 8.
Yeah.
I think I'm happy with it.
I'm gonna go with 7 because anybody could have even gone and
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
done it, did they?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Maybe
with that.
he has workers.
Yeah, like he could have been workers doing it.
Yeah.
Even still, with cotton cotton merchants and that, you still have to have precise hands to actually
Of course, yeah,
do
yeah.
the
Yeah.
cotton.
No.
So is that your?
Yeah, I'd say out of all of these, my personal most believable one
Yeah.
is still Joseph Barnett.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
I think that
Because
would be that one.
paper, like going back to the paper thing, paper can end up anywhere.
Yeah.
Like it can go to anyone. But the fact that it was such a small amount is why people believe that it could have been him.
Okay. Yeah.
But you say that was only 24 pieces?
Like 24 pieces of the exact same.
I'm doing 24 books.
24 pieces.
So it'll be
of the
a
paper.
tree,
That's
yeah?
weird.
It's probably like a squat tree or something.
Coincidentally, that paper could be in London a shrub.
Yeah.
It'll be all part of one
Yeah.
tree.
Yeah, like it's like
weird.
no paper will end up all in the same place.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
So now I'm going to talk about my conspiracy theory, which is the Jeffrey Epstein conspiracy theory. Now, I mean, I don't know how much you boys know about Jeffrey Epstein, but he's quite a character, let's just say that.
He didn't
Kill himself.
Yeah, he didn't kill himself.
Well, that's a conspiracy
Yeah.
anyway. So, I mean, you boys, do you know what boys like was alleged or anything like that?
I don't know shit all about this, but I know you're gonna fucking die once it's released.
Please don't come after me.
all condolences. We don't know if any of this is true.
Can we just point out this one is a conspiracy?
It is a conspiracy
theory.
I just know you're gonna fucking disappear soon.
A theory.
It's a conspiracy theory. It doesn't mean it's true.
It says it in my notes. I've got proof. Right. So basically, this is about Jeffrey Epstein, who was committed for being a sex offender of young people.
Right, no,
So Jeffrey Epstein basically was convicted of sex offender with links to many powerful people, and this include politicians, royalty, and celebrities. And this is supported, by the way. We'll get into this in a little bit. So Epstein, anyway, was a maths teacher. To start off with maths and physics at a private school in New York.
Good pay.
A decent pay, private school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he did this for a while before getting fired for poor performance, and then switched into the banking
Wait, poor performance in what?
school. But he'd switched from this to go into the banking and financial sector, which he went from being basically a teacher in a private school to being a billionaire within a couple of years, which many people thought he had the backing of the financial mafia to get to this position.
Oh Jesus.
And because of this, he did get links to many powerful people, as I said before. These politicians, royalty, and celebrities. Royalty is a big one. And like I said, this is actually supported by a black book found, which had a list of all these celebrities. And I'm not saying all these celebrities that are found in this black book are in there, but if your name's in there, it's a bit dodgy when you're in there with a convicted sex offender. And in this black book, there were phone numbers. And some had a lot more phone numbers than others. So some people would have 15 phone numbers and some would have maybe 1 or 2. So obviously, I mean, who needs 15 phone numbers for anybody unless you really, really, really need to get in contact with them? Okay. So, I mean, along with this, Epstein, as a billionaire, owned his own island and private jet, where him and powerful people would have sex with underage people.
Fucking
Basically.
disgusting.
So just quickly, after being convicted of these atrocities and awaiting sex trafficking charges,
Wait,
Which
so
are-
he took him to the island and...
he would.
Nonsense.
So I'll get into that a little bit so he was convicted of being a sex offender and was about to go to court for sexual trafficking charges, and this is when he committed suicide in prison, basically.
So it could have happened now because he could have felt guilty.
We could have done, but
Yeah, but
I mean,
it's not that's not what most people are saying. We're not saying that.
okay, so this is the theory then. So many people actually believe this was a murder set up by powerful people to stop Epstein speaking out on them. And now the two main names that are linked to this are the Clintons and the British royal family.
Again, we're not saying any of this.
No. So
Right, but...
So basically, going off the royal family, why they would be involved in this. Prince Andrew was a good friend of Epstein. This is known, and he's actually been photographed in Epstein's lady friend's house with an underage girl on her banister, which is then later proven by a reporter who'd actually got footage of the same banister in the house.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, and for Bill Clinton, basically, he'd been known to go on Epstein's private jet at least 27 times.
Holy fuck.
So we don't, I mean, you're not going on there just because you like each other, like really. You know, there's definitely something and known for being a powerful family.
Oh god, yeah.
And they worked alongside the Bush family to run America for nearly 2 decades.
They're all fucked.
So when George Bush Senior, Bill Clinton, George Bush Junior, for about 18 years, I want to say, about 18 years. You know, which is no mean feat. They'd also been known to run Arkansas, which is the family, the
Kansas.
I hate you. which is the state Bill Clinton run.
That's how you spell it.
And they use that place as a place for covering up crimes. A very famous one of this is 2 people were found covered up in tarp and had allegedly committed suicide by being run over by a train.
Why would they be covered in tarp?
Exactly. Why would they do that to themselves? That's the first question. And then when they'd done an autopsy,
magic trick.
when they I don't condone that, by the way.
Neither do I.
But when the autopsy had been called upon, they'd used a certain Dr. Malik for these autopsies.
Callum's actually dying over it.
Abracadabra! And the train comes. They did that to themselves.
I don't condone this.
No, neither.
No, I'm just saying.
And there's been many cases where suicide's been ruled when there's been 4 shotgun shells, holes, wounds being found inside the person. They called that suicide.
Maybe that was another Houdini magic trick.
Why would that be a magic trick, Callum?
You can't even make it up.
He's got to get out of tied up whatever before the guns reach.
Shoots him 4 fucking times.
Yeah.
That's it. Right. So anyway, another weird coincidence is that the Attorney General investigating the Epstein case at the moment is actually the son of the head teacher that first employed Epstein at the school.
Holy fuck.
So he's announced too.
Why would that mean? Why would that mean he's announced, Callum?
He's hanging around with a fucking.
Well, no. So people suspect he's in there. The reason he's in there helping out with this case
doing the sex trafficking
because he can help cover up any ties that come out.
Well, that doesn't mean he's a nonce. That just means he's committing felony.
I'll class him as that.
So basically, leading up to the murders, Epstein and had been put on a suicide watch list.
Oh god, yeah.
While he was in prison, but not long before his death, he was actually taken off that list, which is weird enough in itself.
Okay.
And then on the night of his alleged suicide, the 2 prison officers who was meant to be watching over him were actually gone at the time of his suicide. There was a 45-minute period where there wasn't there, and in that time that's when he committed suicide.
Well, yeah.
Committed suicide.
How did he die?
Hanging. Hanging in his prison cell.
How?
But what year was this? What year?
What do you mean how? He hung himself by
with what?
Bed cheese.
No, but what year was this?
2 years ago now.
So
this was 2 years ago.
It wasn't long
they
ago.
have CCTV in all rooms, so why is the
CCTV was off at that point. There was issues with the cameras that night. This is the official story coming out from the prison. So obviously there's a lot of holes within this.
Oh god, yeah.
So basically, like I said, the 2 main people that most people think have actually done this are either the British royal family to cover up Prince Andrew, who has been, like I said again, photographed with underage girls, and the main person who's come out for this Epstein case has actually told stories of her and Andrew having multiple sexual encounters from the age of 16 to 17, where she'd be paid to have sex or have her toes licked by him. Can we just point out he used to lick her toes? You mucky bastard. If you did that.
I'm not even gonna comment, it's fucking.
Because imagine if she had toe jam as well.
Oh, don't.
I bet he has to keep it in.
It's fucking disgusting that there's little girls or little boys maybe. It's fucking wrong.
So, one time on Epstein's Island, she was 18 at this point, this girl.
So legally
it was Epstein, Prince Andrew allegedly, and this girl, and 9 other foreign girls, were all having a mass orgy together.
So
So she was at that point of age, but the girls she was witnessing there so were not.
So is she forced into doing it?
Yes, she would be paid
So
to do
then
it.
that's rape.
So-
is that classed as rape?
Well, not really. It's more like prostitution, which is more classed as prostitution because they were taking money to do it.
Yeah.
Which is why he got sentenced for it the first time, but because these girls were taking the money, it actually got just done as prostitution.
Mm.
Would do when they
So he got
fucking money.
He got released off charges for underage prostitution. And got released off these charges because he'd agreed a deal with the government.
It's fucking wrong. Why can't we shoot all these bastards?
Well, yeah.
They should be death by a bullet to their head or something like that.
Going on this theory
Firing
anyway.
squad.
Going on this theory anyway. The royal family will obviously want to cover that up because they don't want to tarnish their reputation. I mean, the royal family are a big tourist attraction.
Oh god, yeah.
For the United Kingdom, they bring a lot of economy for us because people come in to see the monarchy because we're the last few left. So it's like, I mean, they've got all the stuff going on with Harry and Meghan, and they didn't want to, have a nonce basically in the family. And obviously everything that's gone on with Princess Diana and how the royal family allegedly again killed Princess Diana.
That can come another day.
Well, yeah, exactly. But obviously the royal family are very powerful people. So I mean, for me, I don't know about you two, but obviously they won't want to ruin the reputation because Andrew's actually been photographed in them. Obviously, Epstein would have been a whistleblower for this and would have just outed everyone to get a lesser deal. So I mean, I don't know, but I think it's quite maybe not as believable as the Clintons, which I'll get onto in a second.
Oh, okay.
But I think, in terms of believing it, I do think it's quite believable that the royal family could have done this.
I believe that because why the fuck would just for a little bit of the night, why would the CCTV go off and security guards could incidentally be gone?
For 45 minutes.
Would that? That's fucking ridiculous.
Here's another question though. Why didn't he hang the bed sheets?
Because what else are you going to hang?
Where did he hang? Where did he
From
hang?
I don't
see
them. I don't know the logistics. I didn't see the body.
No, I'm not saying you've seen the one. I'm like,
But
But
legit.
a light hanging down. I don't know. Off his bunk bed. Could it probably be bunk beds in the room? I don't know.
And then go
or is it
downstairs.
like, oh, it could be a bar different window.
It could literally anything, but it was a hanging, so to speak.
Yeah.
But
By the way, we're not saying this.
this is all alleged.
So was there anything else on his autopsy of saying he had any bruises or anything like that?
No, it was just strangulation, but it did look forced. So there was signs of struggle.
Yeah.
In an independent autopsy, this is another thing where it's this is getting onto the theory of the Clintons and why they did it. So in the original autopsy of Epstein, it was just ruled a suicide. He just killed himself. And then another independent autopsy requested, which got rejected for the first couple of times. When they'd then come back and asked for an autopsy and got granted it, there were signs of struggle.
Oh God. Why would you struggle if you're committing suicide?
It's like most people would, makes it. It was obviously not comfortable.
Where were the signs of the struggle like?
On his neck.
But maybe
neck and wrist and
that
stuff.
could be he's not done it tight enough or something like that.
Well, I mean, obviously could be, yeah.
In a
but
way,
even
you
still,
get
but
where
it's
I'm
not.
coming
But it
from.
wasn't just the neck with the struggle marks there, was it?
It was just the neck, the struggle
Was it?
mark. So it almost looked like he was trying to like
Get-
handprints were here trying to get the rope off.
Maybe he's regretting doing it, but
Yeah.
he's too slow
Maybe, yeah.
in a way.
Yeah. Like halfway through it, and he's like, "Oh
He's
God, I
thought,
shouldn't
fuck,
do that."
I've done
Boys,
that.
talk about the signs of struggle from the hanging, but also the original autopsy, as I said, didn't notice these marks across the neck, which looked like a sign of struggle. The person who did that autopsy was again Dr. Malik, the person who'd been involved in these other hiding of evidence, ruling these people who've been run about train suicide, the 4-shot gun wound suicide, and this is why many people think it's the Clintons, because obviously Bill Clinton was involved with Epstein, these 27 flights, he was publicly known as a good friend of Epstein, up until the first-alleged case, you know. And the Clintons themselves are horrible, horrible people. You know, the things they do, the money laundering, you know, the killing of people, you know. All of this is not official, but, I mean, it's pretty obvious it's there.
Aye.
So, I mean, I don't know about you boys, but I think for me, the Clintons is just more believable. Because they've done it already. They tried hiding the evidence, they got caught out. Not publicly, they never come out and said that the Clintons actually hid this information, but I mean, why would the original autopsy be different to this new one? Like, why would that?
For fear of my own safety, I'm not going to comment.
Okay.
Well, allegedly, like, for legal reasons, I'm not allowed to say any of this stuff. Especially, yeah, but I'm going to anyway. I agree with Charlie and believe it was the Clintons more than the royal family.
Yeah. I think that's fair. So I'm going to say the Clintons as well. Colin, you're saying
I'm
neutral.
not going to comment.
He's not going to comment. I understand why he's not commenting though. It's perfectly fine. I understand.
Yeah.
Don't really.
I mean, well, that's been another episode of the Tdts podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, boys. We enjoyed that one today.
Yeah.
Aye,
I've been doing
it's
this one.
good.
And we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.
Keep an eye out for this next.